What is going on, guys? This is Dynasty here. Welcome back to another MLB 19 The Show Diamond Dynasty video. Today we're going over cards who I think you should invest in this year. Some young promising players who right now there is I think one gold, but the rest of them are silvers or lower, where I think you should hang on to them, maybe even buy some extras. If you pack them, hang on to them unless you're really short on stubs. But I think because ratings in this game change every other week, I think these guys are just young, could be superstars. And some of these guys may go diamonds, some may go golds. But I'm going to give you a list of a bunch. Now, there's a few caveats in this. There's the Vlad, Eloy, Tatis. Those are like the three, in my opinion, big prospects. Now, Tatis and Eloy Jimenez will start the year in the bigs, but they're not in the game yet. So I'm not going to include them in this list, but you can kind of think of it if you get them. Be aware of that. Vlad will come up at the end of April. Once they manipulate his service time, that's for another day. But like I said, if you get them, odds are to be smart to hang on to them unless they're just going for crazy amounts. But I'm only going to talk about, in this episode, people who are in the game. Now, if I don't mention any players that you think could be a great card to invest in, meet me in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. But let's get into this, guys. Let me show you some players I think you should invest in. Alright, so starting off, we have Rafael Devers. Now, you guys know me, I'm a huge Devers guy. I think he has all the talent in the world to be an elite hitter. And I think his fielding is actually lower than what I think it will be. He has like great, I watch the Red Sox every day. He has great footwork. I think his fielding will develop. Maybe not this year, but I think him being a common fielder is a little low. But the batting, there are talks of him batting third in the Red Sox lineup. Like there's talks of having it Benintendi, Betts, Devers, JD Martinez. If the Red Sox think that highly of you to put you third in that lineup, I don't think you're going to be a bronze forever. Do I think he'll go diamond? No. Do I think he'll go gold? Yeah, I think he can go like a low to mid gold. And if you can invest, if you buy a bunch of these while he's going pretty cheap, you can sell him for golds later in the year. So this is one guy, if you're able to get him. He's only 22. I think the reason is like last year everyone thought he was going to be a star. He had not a bad year, but he's only 21. Now he's 22. And I'm excited to see. I guess he's in better shape this year too. I'm really high on this kid. You guys know that. You guys know me. I'm high on Devers. So yeah, definitely. If you get his card, maybe hang on to it. And like I said, if you can buy some cheap ones, buy them and kind of just stash them, for a little bit. Here we have Glaber from the Yankees, and he has a very good thing about him because right now he's a silver card. But one thing that I love about this card is that he's a second baseman. And because of that, it's a lot easier for your overall to jump up with your hitting stats. Now, I think his fielding is too low. I think a 59 fielding is too low for him. I'd put him in like the low 70s. And with that, like if his fielding does get an upgrade, and with his bat, like I said, if that bat was at first base, it wouldn't be as high. But it changes your attributes, or the position changes how important your attributes are. So if you're a great hitting second baseman, that increases your overall a lot quicker than if you're a great hitting first baseman or corner outfielder. So I think he's going to continue to hit. He already mashes lefties in this game. They increase his fielding. I think he's a gold card, mid to high gold. Maybe a diamond. That's pushing it a little bit. But I could see him being like an 83, 84 easily. And if he was an 85, I wouldn't be shocked. So another guy, if you get him, hang on to him. Here we have Byron Buxton. And one thing, he's such a tease. He has not hit yet in the majors. He's been like the #1 prospect in baseball a couple times by several different media outlets, including people I really respect, like Keith Law had him, I think, at #1 for a year or two. He is 25 now. The thing I wasn't going to put him on this list, but look at his speed, look at his fielding. He's a gold fielder already. He has 99 speed. So if he hits a little bit, like if he's a 270 hitter and just hits a little bit of power, he can go into like a high silver, low gold just because his fielding's already elite. He already has elite speed. If he just hits a little bit, this card can jump up so much in overall because he has the other aspects of the game. He's not a guy who just relies on his bat. He relies mostly on his defense and speed, and if the bat comes up, boom, he's a really good card. So he is a tease. I've called him Byron Buxton for being a bust several times, including on stream. But I think I don't know if he will or will not, because he's such a tease. Like he's shown in the minors. If he does, he'll be very valuable because of that speed and because he can hit in the fielding. So keep that in mind. Now, before I go any further, I do want to give a shout out to SeatGeek. They are sponsoring this video. If you guys didn't know, SeatGeek does sell tickets for any sporting events or concerts. Baseball season's starting tomorrow, so if you want tickets and you haven't signed for SeatGeek before, use my promo code KNASTY, KNASTY. I'll link to that in the description below if you just need a link. You first time sign up, you get $20 off your first order. 20 bucks free for just using that code. So if you want to get tickets to go see your team play, use the code, get yourself $20. That's a free ticket almost for a lot of teams. But here we are for Jerks and Profar. The thing with Profar, he was a guy like Buxton, was a #1 prospect for a few years. He was with Texas. It didn't really pan out till last year. He's still only 26. Like, I feel like I've known about Profar for a decade. I've probably known about him for like 8 or 9 years. Like, he was like, close to a decade because they signed at 16. He put together last year. The thing with him, kind of like with Glaber, he's a second baseman in this. And he has secondary positions of first, third, short, and all the outfield. So he literally can play every position except catcher and pitcher. Now, if his primary position ever moves like to first, third, or even the corner outfield, his value will diminish. If it stays at second or short, his value will still be very good. And I think he can go gold. If he has another good year hitting, I think he can easily go gold. The fielding's not great, but for second base, it's not overly important. If the bat he has another good year, I can see him being a gold card, a very good player. And the value of him, of having all the secondary positions, he's like the new modern Ben Zobrist. So I really like him. It's another card to invest in. Next up, we have the cheat code. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to put him on this or not. I decided to, because this is all about value and investing. Now, right now, he's going for a little bit. If you look at the marketplace, he's going for about, was it like 5,000 to 6,000 stubs? Do I think he'll continue to be that price? No, he'll go down a little bit. Right now, he's a silver card. Last year, he was so OP. But the thing about him, if he hits a lick, like he hits 250, he'll be an easy gold and continue to have so much value, and his price will go up. For him being on the Rangers as well, they don't have any diamonds, so that would increase his value as well. So if you can get him for a couple thousand stubs, he has a good year. He still hits for the power. He's a gold fielder in this. So if he hits for the power, hits like 250, he can be like an 83, 84, and being on Texas, they don't have a diamond, his value would increase because you'd be probably the most expensive player for that collection. You could easily be like an 8,000 to 10,000 stub card. So there could be a lot more value in it for Joey Gallo if he can hit for a little bit of contact. His contacts are 34 and 40. All he has to do is hit bring it up to like 50. With that power, easily will be a gold. So keep that in mind, guys. It's a little different one for him, but yeah, I do want to include Joey Gallo. Next up here, we have Kyle Tucker from the Astros, one of the best prospects in baseball. He's 22. You can probably remember the last name Tucker. He had an older brother. Preston Tucker also played for the Astros. He was a top pick a few years ago, and yeah, the Astros keep turning out big-time prospects. He's only a bronze, 68 overall, but I could see him being a really good player. I mean, he's going to be playing a lot more, I feel like, this year. Will he be like a gold card? Maybe a low gold. I don't think he'll be diamond. Unless he just comes up and hits like 330 with 30 home runs during the year, then yeah, maybe. Rookies who have no service time will increase their overall quicker. Long story short, how San Diego Studios does their rosters or their attributes, they take the prior 3 years, this year and the prior 2 years, so 3 years, and they average it out. Well, when you're a young player who doesn't have 3 years, they only average out what you can have, which means smaller samples are more valuable to increase your overall. Keep that in mind. So guys who have been around for just a year or less, their overalls usually jump up quicker. But as you can see here, like a rookie, he's common in both things. I think the bat should be higher. I could see the bat being like a silver to a gold. Fielding common, it can be like a silver to maybe a low gold card for Kyle Tucker. So keep that in mind for him. Now with him being on the Astros, there's so many great players. His overall, his price probably won't go crazy high, but his overall could increase just because there's so many great players on him. Their collection's already insanely hard. Next up, we have Ronald Acuna Jr. Now he is a gold, and you're invest in him when he's going for 18,000 stubs. He's a little pricey now. He'll be diamond. He's one of the best young players in baseball. He's only 21. He's a gold hitter, a common fielder. Common fielder, which I feel like that's a little outrageous. He does have 88 speed, but the bat is so legit. I think he'll have another great year. And like I just mentioned, with the young players who don't have much service time, the 3 years, their overalls would jump up quicker. I expect him to be a diamond. I expect him to be like an 87, 88, 89 diamond by the end of this year, to be perfectly honest. So if you pack him, it may be like you may want to sell him for 18,000, but I think you go for more later in the year. I really do. So just keep that in mind. And maybe not. If you want to buy him right now, maybe wait like a week or two. He might drop down to like 10,000 stubs, and if that's the case, I'd definitely buy him. But another guy to just keep an eye out. I think he's going to be a superstar in a year or two. Next up, we have Juan Soto from the Nationals. He's only 20. He came up last year, was a star right out of the gate. I was surprised he did so well, and he's kind of like Acuna. He's a year behind him in terms of age. He's only 20 to 21 for Acuna, but he looks to be a star. And I'll just say this. He hits really well. I have this card. I've been using him. The dude mashes, flat out mashes. So if you want to get him and you want to try using him in your outfield, he gets the Dynasty approval for being a great hitter, at least so far for the last couple days that the game has been out. But going out on a limb, he will have a better year this year than Bryce Harper. Saying it right now. I think Bryce Harper will be fine in Philly. I think Soto will be better. I think he'll be a diamond by the end of the year. I'm just saying it. Soto will be a diamond. Just same thing with Acuna. I think he'll be like an 85 to an 86. The bat, I mean, he's such a great hitter. One of the best pure hitters out there. So, yeah, he's going to be a diamond in my opinion by the end of the year. Get him now while you still can. He's not crazy expensive. He's like 5,000 stubs on average for a buy now. I'd get him. He's going to quick sell for 5,000 when he's a diamond eventually. Now, obviously, with any of these guys, if they get injured, they won't be able to kill it, to go up or down or whatnot. But yeah, just keep an eye out on that. I'm really high on Soto. On the Mets, we have Michael Conforto, and yeah, he's one of the best young hitters that most people don't talk about. Now, maybe because he's not that young. I mean, we just looked at Soto, we looked at Acuna, they're like 20 and 21 years old. Conforto's 26, but he did really well last year. Now, he's a bronze fielder. Somehow he's a bronze hitter, and you want to know why? It's because he's a right fielder. If that hitter is at second base, he's probably like a 79, 80 overall. That's what I mean by position matters. But I think he's going to hit. He'll continue to hit well. I think he'll be a low to mid gold, like an 81 to an 83 this year. The Mets don't have many great hitters. They do have DeGrom. He's signed the extension, so he'll always be part of their collection. Syndergaard. But yeah, I think he's going to be their best hitter throughout the year. I mean, there's Cano, maybe Cespedes if he gets healthy, but I'm a huge fan of Conforto, been for years. He's going to be a big-time hitter, so I think he'll go up and become a gold card throughout the year. Here we have Reece Hoskins, who's only a silver. I thought he was going to be a gold. Now, he's a guy who can't really field, but luckily at first base, you don't get punished too much for being a minute fielder. As you can see, he's a silver hitter, but a common fielder, but he's a 79 overall. They don't punish you that much if you're a common fielder at first base. If you're a common fielder at shortstop, center field, third base, catcher, you get punished a lot more in your ratings, but at first you don't. I don't understand how he's only a silver hitter with 90 power versus right, 79 versus left, 68 and 40 contact, 101 discipline. I'd put that as a low gold. I think he'll hit a little bit more for contact this year. I think the power's still going to be legit. I doubt he'll go diamond. I could see it. If he does, it's going to be an 85. I expect him to be like an 83 to 84 if I had to guess by the end of the year. So another guy to invest in. I mean, he's going to get a lot of chances to drive and run, so I'm not sure if they really take RBIs into account. But that lineup is a lot deeper now. So yeah, I expect him to be a high gold, maybe sneak into a diamond by the end of the year. Now this one is a wild card, Josh Bell. And you're going to be like, really? And I'm like, yeah, really. Kind of like the same thing in terms of Reece Hoskins with first baseman. He's a common fielder. But I think the bat will develop. Like, if he hits for some power, the discipline and vision and clutch are already pretty good. I've always been high on Josh Bell. Even when he was drafted by the Pirates in, like, the second round, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I've always thought he was going to be a star. In franchises that we've done, he's always been a star. I've always been high on the kid. I think he'll have a good year this year. Middle of that order. I could see him hit 25, 30 home runs pretty easily, and I think that would increase his power. I think he can be a low gold. I don't think he'll be a diamond. I think he'd be a high silver to a low gold. So he's a 74 overall right now. He's a high bronze. If you get him, maybe load up, just get a bunch of them for like 100 stubs. And if he becomes a silver, you can quick sell him for 100. It's like 150 now. If he becomes a gold, that's a quick sell for 1,000. So keep an eye out on him. This is kind of like a wild card one that I don't feel as confident as the others, but keep an eye out on Josh Bell. And lastly, we got Jordan Hicks. So he's going to be their closer. The guy throws gas. Goes over 100. the thing with him, he's already pretty expensive. He goes for over 1,000 stubs as a 73 overall. But if you can get him to like 700-800 stubs, where if he becomes a silver or even like a gold, I think he could be a gold band of the year. The velocity of the break are insane. If he just does well with his control, brings up that walks per 9, he somehow does not strike out a lot of people. At least last year. I don't understand, with so much movement and so much velocity, I don't understand how he doesn't strike people out. The only thing I could think of was that he was tipping his pitches. And maybe they worked on it with that with this year. I don't know if any Cardinals fans figure out why he throws so hard with so much movement on his pitches and yet he doesn't strike anyone out. But if he can start striking guys out, a 70 strikeout per 9, I could, like, when you see him throw 102 with that much movement, you're like, that should be like 100 plus K per 9, kind of like a Josh Hader. And if that's the case, you could go to a gold. Doubtful a diamond, but I think a gold pretty easily if you just start striking guys out this year. And like I mentioned, young player, they can increase a lot quicker. They can also go down a lot quicker as well, so keep that in mind. But that's the list, guys, for players I would recommend you to invest in. If you have any other people you think we should invest in, meet me in the comments down below. If this helps you out, please drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you later, boys. Take it easy. Peace.